Everything is going extremely well.
And now, showtime.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today, we are going to be getting into mastering meta ads. We're going to break down really just what I think is the most important way to think about how to do the job, how to understand the impact of the job. We'll get into optimization, automation, creative testing, documentation. We're also going to get into the very simple way to begin to, for $0, track the incrementality of your marketing efforts. I know there's a lot of conversation in chat around the incremental lift optimization events and all of these other things. It's just like there's a lot of noise, and there's a lot of excitement, and ultimately a lot of really wasted time and effort for a lot of people to try to understand things in a way that really is a lot simpler than most people have told you. So we're going to make all of that happen today. I just want to say thank you for all of your support here. We're back in LA. Flew in yesterday. Had to make a quick emergency trip. Everything's fine. It's my wife is she has a Pilates studio, 2 studios, and well, let's just say she's moving locations, and all the things are working out. So that's incredible. But it meant that she was gonna have to come back with a baby and one of the dogs, which would leave me in New York with just one of the dogs, and that doesn't really make sense. There's no need for that, for me to be just there for 3 or 4 more days. So anyway, I'm back fighting off a little bit of something. So if I'm not my normal magnanimous self, know that I wanted to stay in bed today, but I also love all of you, and I really wanted to be here for it. And man, I've got this. And then right afterwards, we have a Disruptor School Inner Circle call. And then after that, I have a Disruptor Mentorship call with a great brand. We have a couple spots left in that, but we are doing weekly calls with Slack access and a bunch of other education and resources. So if people need it, we're doing that. We have it weekly, bi-weekly, and then once a month for different various prices. And that person went ahead and did the 3-month plan for, and so we're getting to get together and chat a bunch. And then there's a consulting call. So somebody that didn't want to do the full mentorship, just the 1 hour. And then Disruptor Academy, we're going to get into there today and do an hour and a half of just like live Q&A on all sorts of stuff. So we're in the beginning of what is a 5.5 or 6 hour on camera push. And so I got some water, and yeah, that'll be fun. Anyway, hi from Melbourne. Bonjour. Nice to have you here. 2 big announcements, and then we're going to get into it. First one, the Meta MBA starts on Monday. We have a couple of spots left. I am stoked that we said we're going to fill up 12, and we are currently at 10. I think the 11th person is joining this morning, so we might only have 1 spot left. So if anybody's interested in that, please let me know. We're actually going to go through a lot of that stuff here today as well. All of the things you'll learn in there and all of that good stuff. And the second thing is Disruptor Academy. Disruptor Academy is blowing up since the last time I got to chat with y'all. We've rebranded a little bit. We've been getting things going. We've got just checks and checks and checks. We're up to 17,853 on our MRR, which is just incredible considering that was launched in February. So I got more stuff coming. We got some great partnerships. There's a lot of really fun things. And stay tuned for next week's live. I am going to the Meta Marketing Summit, the Performance Summit, on Tuesday through Thursday. And I will be It's me, Ben Heath, Dara Denny, and Caleb Kraus, also known as Mr. Paid Social. We're being paid to fly in and cover the event. So I am I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be incredible. I have unfettered access. Basically, I'm going to get all the presentations before they happen. I'm going to get all the recordings of everybody on stage. I'm going to have interviews in a private VIP room just so I get to chat with everyone. And I'm going to bring all of the stuff that you all need to know. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss all of the things that are coming up. I'm going to effectively be doing live reactions to all of the presenters. And we're going to go through every single presentation that is at the event. Mind you, if you're not spending 7 figures a month, you don't even know this event is happening. And I'm getting all of the video, all of the audio, all of the presentations, all of the tech, all of the stuff, everything that they won't shut me down for sharing, because some of the things they want to save for their big announcement in Cannes. But yeah, we're going to be doing it here like Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, effectively like DVD commentary. So the next few weeks here are going to be incredible. And you're going to see more things as well, partnerships that we've had. And I want to bring forward 2 of those right away. And then we're going to get into a lot more of what we're getting into today. But the partnerships, we are just making really great deals. And this is stuff that I wanted you guys to know, because I've lined up with some of the best founders of some of the best marketing technology in the world. And I'm bringing you basically white glove treatment for discounted rates, deals you can't get anywhere. And the first one that I want to show you is here. This is, well, I'll just let I'll let the ad do the talking. So check this out. These are 2 pieces that I want to show you, and then we're going to get started today with how to master your meta ads. Throw your questions into the chat. Well, throw your comments in there, everybody. I can't wait to get to chat with you. So right after this, we're diving into it.
You know I'm obsessed with data, like a chain-smoking grandma glued to the nickel slots in Reno. And when it comes to tracking what actually happens in my Shopify store, the only team I trust is Aimers, spelled A-I-M-E-R-C-E. They don't use bloated tags that slow down your site, and guess what happened? They know what happened. API direct, no fluff, just clean, accurate data sent straight to Facebook, Klaviyo, and Google. And here's the kicker. When I brought them in, I was able to cut costs with bloated tech and boost profits every single month across every single brand I've ever brought to them. So yeah, Aimers doesn't just track conversions, they help make them happen. And anything that saves me time and makes me money while helping me work less is a cheat code that I want to share with you. So if you're interested in Aimers, go to disruptorschool.com/Aimers and sign up, save money, and Yichi will take care of you personally. She's the CEO and founder. She's a friend of mine. She will do the job to make sure that you are happy. I trust them with my money, and so should you. Running MarPipe is like being the first stripper to ever get a boob job. Suddenly, everyone's making more money. Your catalog ads look better, your feed's tighter, your data clean enough to eat off of. MarPipe cranks out templates, visuals, and winning combos like it's got insider info from Meta itself, because here's the truth, they do. The best brands in the world use MarPipe. There's literally no second best option. So if you want to sign up for MarPipe, go to disruptorschool.com/MarPipe. Dan will take care of you personally. He's the founder of MarPipe. He's a buddy of mine. So sign up for MarPipe. I know you're going to love it. I use it on every brand. It's not just a tool. It's a glow up for your whole account.
Hey, everybody. So first off, just wanted to say thanks to those folks for all of their support here. And just these are the deals. These are the people that I work with. These are the tech that I use. And I want you to know that I'm negotiating rates with them that nobody else can have to get you support that nobody else gets, shy of brands spending 10 times more than you will a year every single day. So with all that being said, let's get into it here. Awesome. I love your questions. Let's get to one here, and then we're going to dive into mastering meta ads. So this one comes All right. Hey, Charlie, I'm running a multi-niche t-shirt store. For structuring the ad, should I use 3 campaign setup or 1 campaign for each niche running ads? Here's the thing. What I'm most concerned with here is which of these ultimately is best at bringing people in who are likely to buy more than once. If you've got Bigfoot, woodworking, and scuba diving as 3 different niches in your t-shirt store, that's great. Which one is more likely to have somebody when they buy one, they're going to come back and buy again and again? I would rather break even knowing that someone's going to buy 3 times than try to make a 20% profit acquiring a customer who will never buy again. These are very, very big pieces that I want you to understand. And so, really, to start off with, I'd probably put them all in one campaign. If they're all the same price, if they're all the same AOV, because you don't really have multiple products. You have one product, which is a t-shirt that comes in many different versions, but they're all the same price. So because of that, I don't really know why I would choose to put them in more than one campaign. Remember, 1 campaign per business objective. Right now, your business objective is to make any sale that you can, and then ultimately to get enough volume of those to truly understand what is going to be of the most value, because some of those people are going to buy more than once. So anyway, that's kind of where I would go with that. We have one other question from Aiden. Recommendation for creative agency for small brands doing under 3 million a year. Aiden, I'm really excited you asked me this question. This is a thing I'm actually working on right now with the guys at Foreplay, Foreplay. We're going to make some big announcements on it. But long story short, they are going to open up this opportunity for you to say, oh, I really like this ad. Can somebody make it for me? And I don't think I'm allowed to talk too much more about what's coming out in the press release. But know that in the great world of all tools and people, I am super stoked actually for what they're bringing to the table. As far as other creative agencies, if it's video, I think Fraggle is the best. That's with Frasier. And if it's static, there's just honestly, there's a huge problem with static. There's so many providers that can do the job and so few that'll actually do it well or deliver. And honestly, my number one recommendation for you, like if I was to show you exactly what I would want you to do, here it is. Let me present here. I'm going to show you. Yeah, here we go. All right, we're going to share my screen. I'm going to go to this incognito tab. Okay, so I'm going to go to here, disruptorschool.com/creativeos. I don't know if you can actually see that I'm typing this in. Anyway, if you go to disruptorschool.com/creativeos, it's going to bring you to the Creative OS portal with exclusively from the offers that we have with people there. So you're going to get a really great price and you can get a bunch of discounts. You can start a free trial. And if you're in Disruptor Academy, you already have dozens of these, or in Disruptor School, the MBA program, etc. You already have access to dozens of these in both Canva and Figma. But they do some incredible stuff. You can get unlimited template requests, usage, collections, access to all the features. I highly recommend you take a look at this because honestly, you get the templates and then you get one person on your team whose job is to just work through them, or you just throw them into ChatGPT. If you're in a space where somebody else can do the work because you can leverage that kind of thing, this is your single best option. And we're also working on a couple of other things there that I would really be excited to tell you, but I'm not allowed right now. Also, this Lifetime Pro is just a really stupid deal for anybody that's really trying to do stuff. Honestly, big business idea, just get the Lifetime Pro. and then make ads for somebody else. You could charge somebody like $500 for like 20, 30 ads and just use these over and over and over and over again. And now basically all you have is somebody that's plowing through templates and selling that work for a really great price. And if you can actually deliver on that, let me know, because I know a lot of people that are looking to hire that person. So hopefully that helps out. I know we got a lot of other things here. I want to deliver on some of the promise stuff here. So let's actually take a slight twist. What I'm going to do here is actually get into talking about the how I look at everything. What is the process? If you were to come to me, what would I do over a 12, what would I do to get you to that space? And this is really what the Meta MBA program is. So I'm just going to show you what that is. Like, we're just going to dive through the MBA program right now. So first off, we start with the Scrum Doc. Okay. So the Scrum Doc is an ability to is a document that's free to use, that is accessible to anyone, that takes very, very little time to actually set up. And what I'm excited for you is that this means you now begin to look at your Facebook campaigns by business objective and looking at them and understanding what is the incremental nature of all of those different efforts. How do you understand how each one of them impacts your bottom line, and more importantly, your source of truth? As soon as you get the Scrum Doc, you are no longer worried about silly things like attribution software. You're not worried about silly things like incremental attribution. You're not, and Amelia, I see Meta now has incremental attribution. We're actually going to come to that here at module 7, so don't you worry. And I am working on some testing with that, and we can get you guys more of that information here soon. But you're no longer worried about silly things like attribution as how to take credit for work. You are not looking at your CPA or LTV. I mean, you're not looking at CAC. You move away from all of these attribution-based metrics, because remember that none of those numbers are actually true. All of those numbers are the amount spent on whatever thing you're looking at divided by the total number of actions that are tracked within that thing. So basically what it means is, how much money did you spend on that ad today or that campaign this week? And how many transactions does it take credit for? Or are you letting it see to inform what it's going to do? You begin to start to take a look at, I have volume of cash flow devices, I have volume of transactions devices, and I have volume of profit on day one devices. How effectively am I running all of those, and how much do those actually move the needle when it comes to my source of truth? If you're spending money on like Hyros, the first module within the MBA program will allow you to cancel that account forever. Like if you're still trusting like Northbeam as like a source of truth, or AdBeacon or Triple Whale, like I appreciate that these platforms have a job. My point is that if you're looking at them to understand how any ad or ad set or campaign are actually performing, you're looking at really bad data that is incomplete, out of context, and retroactive to make future decisions. And there's a reason why you're struggling. And it's because you're just looking at things in the wrong way. And so we start by just eliminating that. And the number one thing I think everybody should do is start, no matter what's going on, know your numbers. You cannot create a volume hack and cost cap your way out of a bad business model or into like knowing what your numbers are. If you don't know what you're getting for your money that you spend, and you don't know how that impacts the bottom line of your business, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know if what you're doing is good, and you'll never be able to do better. That's a very big issue, which is why we start at the measurement of the results. We start with the actual bank account. This, if you're not starting with your dollars, your strategy doesn't make sense. I'll put it that way. Next, we get into optimization and PCE. And PCE isn't something that we've really talked about here publicly. But once you understand where your money is, once you understand what you're getting, once you understand everything that's going on, by the way, this is all for the MBA Academy. I know I have the, this is all for the MBA Meta MBA. I know there's the Academy thing down here. If you can't afford the MBA, yes, it is $15,000 to join the cohort that starts on June 1st. And if you pay in full, I'll give you $3,000 off. But some context, if you can't do that, join the Academy. It's like $97 a month with the money back guarantee, 7-day free trial. Give it a shot. Anyway, optimization and PCE. This is how, once you understand where your money is going, you can begin to look at your profit cost efficiency, your PCE, to begin to understand where can I put money so that without launching more ads, without launching more campaigns, without increasing the instability and uncertainty in my account, I can just get to a place where I'm more profitable with every dollar that I spend. So once you understand your numbers, you can begin to invest where those numbers are best. And this very much means that, like, you don't need 7 campaigns when you can do the job with 2. You don't need 150 ads. You can do the job with 5. Odds are the majority of the money that you're spending right now is being spent on things that are not the best investment for you. Your optimization, once you understand your numbers with the Scrum Doc and your profit cost efficiency, is the easiest way to help you spend more effectively using real data to make confident decisions about what actually moves the needle. From there, once you understand how to do all of that stuff, for me, the next thing that makes sense is to automate all of that work. So once you understand how to measure your results to know what's actually impacting your bank account, and then you can appreciate how to optimize your marketing efforts to make the money that you spend more powerful without having to destabilize or make it more unknowable. Remember, every new ad is a greater investment and uncertainty. Every campaign that you have is competing with every other campaign that you have. There is no way to avoid that. And performance marketers just say, well, let's launch as many of these as we can and turn off the ones that aren't as good. But the problem is you're never building in that way. You're just attacking the same stuff in the same way with just slightly less informed options until Black Friday comes, and then everybody looks brilliant. And then the beginning of the year comes and CPMs drop. And then May comes and mid-February comes and all the cost caps break. And then, like, what's going to happen in 2 weeks when all of your performance goes to absolute shit? You're going to be like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, you should know that this is going to happen. The Scrum Doc will let you see in a day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year breakdown exactly everything that's been happening, so you're never caught off guard. You know exactly where you are, so you can then automate all of the work that you're doing. Now, we did just drop a big course on the Disruptor Academy YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you check out. As much as I love you being here, there is the YouTube channel for Disruptor Academy. I'll just bring this up real quick. Disruptor School, Disruptor Academy, YouTube. There we go. Okay, share this tab instead. Awesome. So this is the Disruptor Academy YouTube page. This new way of running ads is a full automation course. Over the last 12 years of running Facebook ads, I have learned. Okay. So anyway, this is all of the stuff that you're going to get in there, right? Like, look at this chapter selection. These are all of the things. So my point is, once you understand where your money's being spent and the value of it, and then you understand how to optimize your efforts to make a much better impact, then you can automate all of that level of work, which allows us to get to the next important thing, which is creative testing. And, you know, we use Golden Bear, which is the branded estimated action rate. Now, we've been doing this for years, and, you know, fair versions of this have been leaked and have been appropriated by a lot of other folks. One of the brands that does this that I can think of right away is a company called Mint. But we do it in an exceptionally just different way. They're always optimizing for what gets clicks and what drives traffic. And that's very different than understanding how to improve the estimated action rate. When we work through this problem, right, we're talking about measurement of results, right? The Scrum Doc is quite literally allowing us to appreciate the money that we spend in the platform and the money we see in the bank account. What is the most direct tie without anything other than Google Sheets and pulling a report directly from Meta? Like, it is free. It is something you can do in 5-10 minutes a day and gives you greater clarity and insight and confidence than you could spend $5, $10, $100,000 a year in fancy software to get to. Then we use that clear understanding of what's going on to optimize where our ad account structure, the ad sets that we're running, the ads that we have by removing liabilities and improving our profit cost efficiency, our PCE. We can automate the machine to do all of that work for us, so we're just constantly moving in the right direction. And according to our 4PI analysis, which is part of the PCE, you're going to begin to understand where your weaknesses are, where are your strengths, what do we need to introduce into the mix to get better results. And so that's where creative testing with Golden Bear is really going to help us out. It's not just launch another 50 ads on an ASC and see what gets spent and just constantly, you know, we've talked on this channel over and over and over again about how when you launch a new ad, it launches in a test audience that is your lowest hanging fruit. It is launching against the people who are in the bottom of your funnel. Those ads inherently do well. They then die after a few days because they are being asked to go from, can you do well on low-hanging fruit? And now I'm going to ask you to go find strangers and be successful. And the honest truth is, it's not that the ads fatigue. It's not that they don't work. It's that you've defined unsustainable success as what the expectation is. And so anytime you get an ad that has to learn how to be successful outside of easy mode, and it doesn't just continue to thrive, you declare it to be a winner. And that doesn't make any sense. And the more of those you launch, the more you're pillaging the bottom of your funnel. So the more ads you get that are failures. And because you're not able to really understand if those ads are helping you or hurting you, and you're launching a ton of new ones, what you're also doing is destroying your relationship with your business partner, with Meta. When you're trying to force that ad, with the majority of those ads being failures, ads that people don't want to see, that doesn't do good for your business, the other side of that you need to be mindful of is that also means that you're forcing bad impressions, you're forcing bad experiences onto the users of Facebook and Instagram. And so that ruins your estimated action rate, raises your CPMs, and destroys the quality of the inventory that you buy. Like, I always say this, you know, when you CPMs themselves don't matter, right? Like, you can convert on anything, and CPCs doesn't matter, but it is an indication. This is a leading indicator of other things going on. Lower CPMs either means that you moved up in the funnel or you've improved your relationship. Facebook and Instagram work off of somebody wanting to see your content. So the more that you make content that people want to see, the more the system pushes it out, which means that your CPMs drop. And the people that see it are ones who want to see it. So the quality of that inventory goes up. Your job isn't to launch 1,000 ads that hopefully get a good result. Your job is to improve your relationship with the machine so that the people who are ready to buy are seeing the ads that you run, so you can buy higher quality inventory for a lower price and continue to scale. Like, that's how it works. Although most people won't tell you that because they fundamentally don't know how things work. And that's what this is all about here, right? Like, that's what the Meta MBA program is all about. That's what we talk about here in Disruptor School all the time. Again, down below, you'll see this ticker scrolling through. that is all about the MBA. Let me see if I can get this on here. You can join the wait list there. But anyway, if you want to get into it, I would highly suggest that you do. I would love to see you there. Because we do start again on the 1st of June. So we're taking calls the weekend and then getting started. Monday's our kickoff call. So technically, I guess the 2nd. Anyway, getting back to it. And you can get there, by the way, disruptorschool.com/MBA. That's how you get into applying. And if you're serious about seeing good results, that's how you get there. Remember, it is not cheap. And we definitely do things differently than most people do. And that's one reason that we see better results than everybody else does. And for longer periods of time and fundamentally change lives, while everybody else basically defines success by their bank account. But I personally think that it is not a flex to say that I provide for my family by preventing other people from being able to provide for theirs. We do the exact opposite here. So once you have all of this stuff in place so that you can solve problems at scale by isolating variables to improve your estimated action rate through a systematized creative framework, we got to then get to documentation and nomenclature, right? You need to build clean systems for naming, tracking, and archiving all assets. This is going to help you prevent wasted time on communication and emails and performance reviews and audits. Like, the answer to almost every single question that you get asked should be, check the link. Like, it should be that simple. There we go. Join the MBA waiting list right there. There you go. Like, there should be very few questions that cannot be answered simply by having a document that everyone can see. Chase says, who do I need to talk to about tracking software? Aimers, AIMERCE. Go to disruptorschool.com/Aimers. They'll hook you up. So we need to standardize our operations. This makes every employee replaceable. This saves time on emails. This means that you don't need to waste time trying to figure out what's going on and explain your work and catch up, and nothing exists inside of somebody's head. Everything is fully documented. So we go through how to standardize. What are the SOPs that make it easily replaceable? How do you and 3 people that joined the MBA program last week joined because of this exact thing. They're operators who fired their agency that are sick and tired of wasting their time, but they know that they need to master this, but they also don't have the time to do it a lot. So we're going to get their ad account down to a couple hours a week in management. And because they're coming through the MBA program, they're also going to be able to offboard the majority of that work to a very junior level employee. So by the time they get to module 3, somebody else can take over module 1. By the time they get to module 5, that person's in module 3 or 4. And by the time we get to module 6, that new employee isn't going to have to ask a bunch of dumb questions. And the founder is going to be able to get answers to questions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without having to bother anybody else. And that dynamic ability to operate your business and to understand what's going on saves time and money, and every good business does it. Most businesses that I see fail don't. So with that being said, we get into what do we do with the winners from Golden Bear? How do we properly test creative for efficiency and volume using data, machine learning, and AI to scale smarter, drive incrementality, and make every ad count? Like, how do we not just say, well, we're going to launch 50 new things inside of an ASE and scale whatever works? Like, how do we actually use science and data to produce stable and reliable and scalable outcomes? And meanwhile, like, one of the things that I want you to understand is, and I see this question from Randall, says, none of your strategies work for affiliate marketing, lead gen, does it? Yeah, they actually all do. I know you have zero control over the business model. We only control what the landing page and ads is. Sure, That doesn't mean, Randall, that you shouldn't use the machine in a way that gets you the highest quality inventory for the lowest price, in a way that takes you less and less work over time to get you a more and more consistent result that is more and more stable. If you don't have control over everything else, great. That means that you have an even more streamlined operation. That means that you are going to be able to beat out everyone else. I've actually had multiple students take over entire affiliate marketing teams, from high ticket, like real estate investor people to coaches and a bunch of different companies. And the beauty of it is, when you begin to win the game on the quality of the inventory that you buy based around long form data, where you are able to win based off of the quality of your relationship with the platform and the stability and consistency and predictability of the outcomes. Everybody else that signs up to be an affiliate marketer for that effort, everyone else that's running lead gen for the clients you work with, becomes top of funnel for you. You don't have to work harder than other people. You are going to just fundamentally edge them all out until everybody's working really hard to make your job easier and easier. This 100% works for those situations. I've been doing it for years, myself, and with plenty of brands and clients from around the world. Like, that's just, I'll put it to you this way. I can't think of a legitimate reason that you should try to run a business in a way where you are less and less effective while pricing yourself out of the market, instead of using machines in the way they were designed so that everybody else does all of the hard work for you. I just can't think of a reason why you would do that, unless your bank account is made bigger by taking credit for everybody else's work. And we've had conversations with brand owners and agency owners, not brand owners, agency owners that do that work. And every one of them complains about the same things, says the same stuff, and has the same problem of customer retention. Because eventually people find out that they're full of shit. So once we can stabilize everything, we know our problems, we can really begin to appreciate the deployment of our creative testing in our environment, so that we can drive incrementality and make every ad count. We're not taking guesses. We're not taking shots. We're not hoping to do the best. We can build a funnel that works and continue to scale that and have very high certainty in the investments that we're making. From there, we get into our ecosystem, Doc. And this is what I would do for any brand. This is the exact order. If you were to hire me to take over your business, this is the exact step-by-step process that I would take in the order that I would do it. And I'm literally just sharing with you exactly, like, this is how you master meta ads. Like, this is one of the reasons why I'm continually getting brands to exits, why I'm taking brands from mom and pop shots to 8 figures, why I'm helping brands get to 9-figure run rates, why I've got more wins in the last 4 or 5 years than most people will see in their career, and I'm able to repeat it over and over and over again. It's because there's this simple, repeatable, standard operating procedure for how we tackle growth and business marketing. It is not built around marketer ego. It is built around the one universal boss that we all have, which is the bank account. And that's it. With that in mind, we really need to understand our ecosystem. We really need to be able to say, how does our entire marketing ecosystem work? It's not built around one ad, but it's what's happening. So to this question that Randall brought about the affiliate marketing and all of that stuff, like, the number one way you win that game is you just shoot as many ads as possible at the bottom of the funnel. Now, it's not a scalable effort, but it's a way that you can drive a lead for cheaper than somebody else, because you're able to get somebody across the finish line based on last click attribution. And ultimately that means that as long as everybody else is running stuff and you're a better bottom feeder, you'll be able to take credit for everybody else's work. Now, you won't be able to make the business bigger, but you'll make your report nice enough to not be the next person fired. And those are two very different conversations. And that's why most of my students that step into those roles eventually replace the entire team. And the people running those businesses get far better results with a far smaller group of people, because they've moved away from, let me just get any affiliate marketer possible willing to make a commission, to, well, let me just have somebody that's going to do the good work, run everything. So the ecosystem, you need to understand, and I'm going to be very unequivocal about this. You need to understand what's happening in your business because of the money you spend. That is not possible to appreciate with attribution. Attribution won't tell you this ad drives more volume of search. This ad drives more revenue from email. This ad drives me higher quality leads or lower quality leads. This ad makes it so the sales center is high-fiving all day long, or is constantly getting people quitting because all of the leads are shit. The machine itself, you need to be able to understand that. And the machine itself won't spit that out. But it is extremely easy for you to be able to, when you know how to set up reporting, remove the concept of attribution from the conversation entirely and begin to just look at the impact of the spend on the elements that you have. And I learned how to do this from a woman. Her name is Marina. She was the person in charge of Ginsu Knives and Proactive Skincare Solution. She was able to run 9 figures a year in television with a stopwatch. Her attribution model was 5 minutes after the infomercial aired. That was it. There was no clicks. There was no tags. There was no nothing. Once you begin to understand how everything works without looking at who takes credit, but rather what is the impact of the work done, you are going to be able to make much smarter decisions. I had this conversation with a woman earlier this week who's joining the MBA, and she's getting into Alex Hormozi's program middle of next month, and we're going to have her in the MBA. I hope we'll have to follow up with her a couple weeks before she starts Alex Hormozi's, because Alex Hormozi is going to be great at setting up the business and helping with the call center and getting the leads and getting the process and all of that. But he's also not good at paid media. Like, his advice on ads is that's his weakness, and he can get away with that because everything else is so good. But that doesn't mean that you have to deal with that weakness. You could, and what she's doing is coming in to have a weapon of strength in where Alex is, to address Alex's biggest weakness. And she's not the first person to do that. And it's really exciting for me to see the growth that she's going to have. But we're going to get down to the ad level of what is the unit value of a lead that comes from this ad versus another ad, and how do these ads impact search and email revenue. Like, if you can't understand that stuff, then you fundamentally don't know what is happening with your efforts. You can't point to your business and actually say, I know when I spend money on this ad, this happens in my bank account. And if you don't understand that, then you don't know what's going on. From there, we get into financial planning. And this is usually when I'm dealing with businesses. This is usually around the end of month 2 that we start to really get here, where we can align our marketing and our financial goals. We can build forecasting models. We can determine PSM numbers and manage to burn and growth. We can really begin to start taking a look at the business in the view of week to week, quarter to quarter. We can say, oh, May's not good. That's okay, because we had a really strong April. Or we can say, we know that June is going to be tough, but we're going to take a look at March to September as one, April to September as one chunk of time. And if we know we don't need to spend the money in June, because if we spend every one of those dollars that we spend in September instead of June is worth 70% more, well, let's just keep the lights on and do the bare bones stuff so that we save our money for when it's worth exponentially more. And how do we do that to appreciate the churn on MRR devices? And how do we use that to manage cash flow and to manage inventory? Well, it's all completely knowable and doable, and all of those impact your media spend. Based on all of that, we're going to then be able to have a very forward-facing testing roadmap to understand what's going out, what is being tested, what are the different priorities in all of the testing that we have. When those tests are going out, what are the dependencies? What are the expectations? What are the costs? What are the timelines? What are the impacts on other tests? The amount of brands that I see constantly just having every department test everything that they possibly can at any speed that makes sense for them without communicating to the other people to understand what's happening is disappointing. I was dealing with a brand last week that we're spending about 30 to 50,000 a day. And they're doing some landing page testing. And the way they did it is they just threw up a landing page, 50% split, and see if it worked, if it didn't. We didn't know that they were doing that. And so we were having some ads crush and some ads fail. And it seemed to be really random. And then we began to understand, every time the ads, and it's not one ad, but like the entire campaign just tanked, is when they threw a 50-50 split into a landing page test that bombed. And vice versa was true. We got so many wins because the landing page test was crushing and they moved the business forward. And once you begin to understand the landing page test, the email test, the pop-ups, I'm dealing with another software company right now that's testing pricing. Like, if you can appreciate all of those deployments, then you can manage your business more effectively. And at that point, we really have three things that are left. Once you have all of that stuff together and you're getting money and you know where you're going, Chase, I would love to chat more about all your partner SaaS program. Yeah, reach out to me, Chase. I'm always open for more opportunities. Once we get all that together, we can begin to define, develop, and communicate a brand that people remember. We can build assets that deepen customer loyalty. We can work on building a moat around the business because we've stabilized the business. We know where our money's coming from. We know the value of the money that we spend. We know what the next 3 to 6 months look like financially with different versions of what that outcome could be. Our testing is completely under place because we identified the best products. We identified the best offers. We know our cash flow cycles. We know our customers. We have our creative. At that point, it is around positioning the growth of the business with developing the brand so that we can better acquire those highest quality customers. And this is a spot where most brands never get to because they're so focused on being day one profitable according to some attribution. And the long story short, that's why they never get the success that they'd love to see. Then we get into our 90-day plan. I think everybody, once you're able to look this far out, you need to start having some North Stars. Every decision is built around, does it get us to this thing, yes or no? For instance, the 90-day plan that I had for March, April, and May, as soon as I launched Disruptor Academy and saw that was going really well, was that I wanted to launch the Meta MBA cohort in June with 12 members. I wanted to have partnerships with SaaS companies and sponsorship deals for videos so that I could get paid to make videos that feature how well the brand is doing based around software and marketing technology and tools and services that I use so that I can help other people be successful with that. And I get affiliate revenue from that I can then invest in promoting that content so that every single one of the videos that I run around promotion of content of services is itself a profitable ad that not only grows my reoccurring revenue pool, but also grows the brand so that when I launch that MBA on June, I'll be able to repeat that, and that I won't lose my monthly reoccurring revenue because I'm trying to compete with two different offers, but I'm rather continuing to grow what works and introducing something incremental to it. And so every decision was built around, does this get us to where we need to go? And it meant we said no to a lot of things that were nice. And it meant that we got really, really excited around things that got us there. I mean, me going to the Meta Marketing Summit, the Performance Summit next week is huge. And I'll be honest, they're paying me thousands of dollars to go there and to make videos that they'll then promote. And I'm going to use that to interview and highlight as many business owners as I can. And part of that is that I can use my platform to lift others, and me lifting them gives me more exposure as well. And then I got paid to do the entire thing in a way that's going to elevate the visibility of the marketing efforts that I'm doing to help other people be successful. Because one of the things that nobody can say is, I trusted Charlie. I did his stuff and it didn't work. We've had hundreds of people go through the MBA program. Nobody's ever shown up, done the work, and asked for their money back. And I shared my tax returns last year where I was like, look, I paid myself $1 million this year. We had $7,000 in returns and refunds. Now, the MBA is 15, so clearly it wasn't MBA stuff. The vast majority of those were like somebody bought an ebook and was unhappy. And I was just like, look, if you're not happy with it, I'm just going to give you your money back. And here's another ebook if you want it. Like, let me know how I can help you. And like, that was 75, 80% of that $7,000. I would go line item through line item. So like, other people can make claims, but I was just showing receipts. So anyway, like, if you want to master your meta ads, you have to begin to look through all of this stuff. And yes, week 12, we have advanced curriculum that brings you into all sorts of other education opportunities. And we have our ongoing community. We do get to meet every single week to take you through a live Q&A session for all of these. And we do have one-on-ones that everybody gets access to throughout the entire program on a regular basis. And then after that 12-week program, we get after that 12-week program, you get dropped into a greater community that has calls every other week. There's a lot there. And that's why I'm super excited. So anyway, I'm taking some more sales calls for this. I'm going to fill it out. It starts on the 1st. And technically it starts on the 1st, although everybody gets full access on Monday. And yeah, between the Academy and the MBA, this is going to be, I think, my best effort this year to help you all achieve the success that you deserve. And with that being said, everybody, I hope you are well. And if you're trying to run your own funnels and you want to try to see if you could build something like this, where I was able to drive a 6-figure income, 6-figure in sales in 45 days on like less than an hour worth of work, here's what I have to say to you.
I've trusted a lot of dumb things in my life, like gas station sushi, a friend's MLM bitch at 2 o'clock in the morning, or that pill that would lob on to all the fat and make me just poop it out. But making nearly $100,000 with just 15 minutes work, that's not a scam. That's perspective. It's the only funnel builder I actually trust because it works every single time. It's simple, it's fast, and it's trusted by not only me, but folks like Gary Vee and so many others. And if you want to sign up for free and literally copy and paste my exact funnel with one click, go to disruptorschool.com/perspective. You deserve this.
All right, everybody. I'll see you soon. Take care. DM me if you have questions. If you're ready for the MBA and don't want to screw around, it's disruptorschool.com/MBA. Go there. Sign up quick. I'm filling up my calendar. When I get all 12 spots, it's closed. And with that being said, take care, everyone. I got to take care of myself a little bit better. So I'm going to end this a few minutes early before hopping on the inner circle call. All right, everyone. Bye.